You already know that some people walk like they're apologizing for taking up space. Shoulders curled inward, steps short, chin down, as if the whole body learned somewhere along the way that it was safer to be small.
And you? Have you ever stopped to notice how your own body moves through the world? Or is it too automatic to catch? There's an uncomfortable question hiding here. What if the way you walk isn't just posture, but a photograph of everything you decided not to feel? What if your body has been quietly telling a story your mind refuses to hear? Because here's what nobody told you. You weren't born walking like this. Someone, somewhere, taught your body to shrink.
A look of disapproval, a humiliation you buried, a moment when being seen felt dangerous. And the body, wiser and more cowardly than the mind, learned to hide inside its own movement. Jung put it plainly, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Your fate, then, every single day, is carrying a body that ages twice as fast, once from time and once from tension you never released. You feel it as exhaustion with no explanation, a stiffness no medicine seems to fix, a weight on your shoulders with no name and no clear origin. It's the nameless anguish, the one you try to outrun by working more, sleeping worse, distracting yourself with anything other than standing still and actually feeling your own body.
And the question you need to sit with, without rushing, is this. How long have you been walking through the world, as if still protecting yourself from someone who isn't even there anymore? But before answering, we need to understand something essential. Jung called it the shadow. Everything we reject about ourselves and hide, even without knowing we're hiding it. And the shadow doesn't only live in the mind, it lives in the body. Every time you swallowed anger, held back the urge to scream, buried sadness behind a functional smile, your body recorded it as an instruction. Shrink, contract, don't take up too much space. This is not a figure of speech. It's literal. How many times has your neck locked up right after swallowing a word that needed to come out? That accumulation has a name, and it has a cost. Physically, it speeds up joint wear, tightens your breathing, ages your spine before its time. Emotionally, it creates a constant low hum of alertness, even when there is no danger anywhere near you. Jung said, "The healthy man does not torture others. Generally, it is the tortured who turn into torturers." Applied here, the body you never released doesn't stay silent. It eventually turns against you. The way you walk, then, isn't destiny. It's unresolved shadow wearing your body. And there is someone, or something, that benefits enormously from you staying small and contracted. Think about the culture that taught you early on that taking up space is arrogance, that walking upright is presumption, that open shoulders and firm steps belong to other people, not to you. This conditioning is subtle. Nobody hands you a manual that says shrink yourself. But school, family, workplaces, all of them, in different ways, quietly rewarded your discretion and your invisibility. Jung would call this the persona, the mask worn to be accepted by the group, rehearsed so well you forgot it was ever a mask. And the body that curves inward is often the body still performing that persona, even alone, even when no one is watching. You took part in this without realizing it, adjusting your walk, your voice, your gaze, so you would never be too much, never inconvenience anyone. But the moment you stop reacting to that invisible demand, the whole game changes. This isn't about posture, it's about presence. This isn't about standing straight for appearance. It's about no longer apologizing for existing through your own body. The real solution isn't faking confidence. It's integrating the shadow that made you shrink in the first place, bringing into consciousness what used to run on autopilot, unnoticed for years. Start small, start today. First, pause 3 times a day and simply notice how you're holding your shoulders, without judgment, just noticing. Second, while walking, imagine the crown of your head being gently pulled upward, toward the sky. Third, before entering any room, take 1 breath and ask yourself exactly what you're shrinking away from. Fourth, write down at night 1 thing you swallowed that day and never said out loud, since the body needs the mind to actually process it, not just the muscles to relax. Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." Every time you observe your own walk with real attention, you are waking up from a sleep that lasted decades. This process of bringing light to the body's shadow is exactly what Jung called
individuation, becoming finally who you always were underneath the mask you learned to wear. There are side effects to this shift, and it's good to know them now. In the first days, you'll feel exposed, like you're taking up too much space, drawing too much attention. People will notice. Some will find it strange. Others, used to your smaller version, will feel like you changed, and they'll be right about that. But what's born after this break is bigger than the discomfort that comes before it. First comes the silence, that strange moment of walking differently and not quite recognizing your own body. Then comes the clarity, when you realize the tension you carried was never really yours, only borrowed from situations long over. And then comes the peace, not a passive peace, but one that takes up space, breathes deeply, and walks without asking permission from anyone. You stop being a reactor to what everyone else expected from your body, and you start being the creator of how you inhabit the world. And that unsettles people. Because a body that stands upright, present, walking with intention, is a body that can no longer be ignored or managed as easily as it once was. You'll lose the comfort of invisibility. Some people will pull away because they preferred the version of you that took up less room, that asked for less, that noticed less. That loss is real, and it's worth naming honestly instead of pretending it won't hurt at all. But you will find yourself, and you'll find yourself standing up straight, breathing fully, walking like the ground actually belongs to you too. That is not arrogance, Jung would say. That is simply what a person looks like once the mask comes off. Tell me in the comments, have you ever noticed how you walk when you're afraid, compared to how you walk when you feel safe? And if you want, write exactly this. I never noticed, but my body already knew. Keep watching the next video. It matters. Much more than you think.